Hey guys, John Singleton here, head coach of the program. I am in Barcelona at HUELLA Workout Club. I'm very lucky to be joined by Reika. And today we are going to be looking at the alternating dumbbell snatch. The alternating dumbbell snatch is one of those movements that we've seen introduced into the world of CrossFit. And there are a couple of key tips that are going to help you when doing this movement, okay? So if you can just show me 4 reps, please. Nice. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So on the surface of it, and in essence it is a very simple movement. However, there's some key areas where people tend to struggle. The main thing is actually people tend to get very nervous about the transition from one hand to the other. CrossFit have introduced different rules over the years, but we're not going to worry too much about the exacting standards as they tend to change. In essence, what we want you to do is just to be comfortable on that change. So for now, Reika's actually just going to go from the hang, and you're again just going to do 4. I just want you to focus on how she changes the dumbbell. Okay, and you can see, in essence, it's just a simple change of hands. Now, I'm going to let you into something. There is no big secret to this movement. You just have to get confident and comfortable with it. I would suggest practicing in an area with a lighter dumbbell where you feel safe, on a floor that you're not going to damage the dumbbell or damage the floor, maybe put some padding down, and just get used to being confident in transitioning hand to hand. And then once you have that confidence, you can start building up in the weight, and honestly, it starts to feel a lot easier. It's actually a lot harder to transition on the floor and takes a lot longer time. So definitely recommend just spending, even a few minutes each day getting used to the feel of the dumbbell moving hands. The next part actually becomes a little technical, and it starts to depend on your body. For someone like myself who's quite long-limbed and tends to be a lot more comfortable pulling from the floor, or compared to an athlete who is a lot stronger squatting, there's actually 2 different ways that we're going to place the back. So the first technique we can use is actually what we call the high hip. So in essence, what's happening here is my hips staying relatively high in order to do the motion as I transition. If you could just do 4, but keep your hips quite high. Nice. And now we're going to do 4, but of a squat dominant style. So what we'll notice here is that actually the low back comes down and my chest stays more upright as I transition through. Okay, so how do you decide if you are squat dominant or pull dominant? In essence, if I gave you the choice of if you want a deadlift or back squat, if you choose the deadlifting, pull dominant, choose the back squat, squat dominant. And that's actually how I would start to play about with these styles. If you do like pulling from the floor, you're probably going to manage a slightly higher hip. If you're more squat dominant, you're probably going to find it a lot more comfortable using that slightly more squatting pattern. So, 2 useful tips and a bit of advice for changing the dumbbell. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please comment, please subscribe, and we will keep the content coming.